Well, hey, bro. Did you know that Ifa can be a DPS? Well, hopefully he can. I'm pretty sure he can be. That's what we're going to try to find out today. Now, I am actually not on my account today because I don't have the resources to level up this boy. And also, we have a C6 Ifa. I only have a C0 Ifa. I don't feel like going in-depth on his constellations. Do expect that the difference between, like, playing a C0 Ifa versus C6 Ifa to be meaningful for actually both of his playstyles. At a baseline, Ifa's kit is essentially intended to be an on-field Swirl DPS, kind of like Yume Mizuki, except for he actually synergizes with normal attacking units, although he also kind of specifically wants to be played with Auron because of this passive. And the main thing that can make him better than someone like Sucrose is that he has team-wide healing on his skill. Normally you want to play him with Farina to take advantage of that, but his healing is kind of not great without Constellation, so like, that's my general understanding of him, is what most people have found is like, kind of takes Constellations to be not underwhelming in various forms. But I think crit DPSing probably works perfectly fine at a lower Constellation level too. That's those gunshots. You can see one, and then you can see the rapid 2-fire hits. That's the C6 triggering, which we just got it 5 times in a row, 6 times in a row, 7 times in a row. What in the world? Okay, that was incredible. We won like 8 50-50s in a row. You'll never get that lucky when pulling for... Anyways. His gameplay should be pretty simple. Like, he jumps up in the air, kind of like Chaska, right? And then you hold an attack and you can move around. Anemo doesn't have, you know, a scaling reaction like Pyro or Hydro units, so you're going to want to use, you know, damage bonus buffers like Farina. And, of course, that means Farazan, the Anemo buffer, ideally at C6, which Sylveon's account... Sylveon's my mod, so thank you to them for loading me the account. Tenacity Varazon, that's fine. What's the build on it? That's a very underwhelming Varazon. Well, it is worth, I think, mentioning that, you know, the less strong of an on-field DPS you have, the more compelling it is to, like, spec Varazon into damage stats to help you reach thresholds to clear. But that's fine. What is Farina's build looking like? Golden Troop, which makes sense if Varazon's on Tenacity. That seems like a pretty good Golden Troop build. On Fab, her signature weapon, wonderful. Looks like a Skyward Blade Bennett, good. On healing set, that makes sense with a C0 Farina and a heckin' lot of ER. We will try a Swirl DPS team with Farina Auron and some flex slot because I think that's an interesting playstyle to look at as well. The build on Ifa is using Varessa's weapon. This is just a stat stick weapon for him with the attack percent and base stats. The other passive doesn't really do anything. And then Obsidian Codex makes sense. He is a Natline unit, so he goes into Night Soul state. And that's all a little bit lower crit rate than I would personally prefer. It's a little skewed towards crit damage. You know, that means we're gonna be at 78%. Yeah. I also want to test his healing, so let's let Farina drain a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, his healing is not enough to keep up with Farina, even with C6, unless you have a healing focus build. So that's fine, as expected. Pretty much need Bennett. Oh well. By the way, the unbuffed damage there was actually pretty decent, that's for sure. I'm fairly certain he's going to be a good DPS. Let's go. Well, I don't think he's going to reach the heights of Lanyan. That's a really high bar. But he's not bad. And, you know, maybe you just like the bro. And he's got fun animations. Use these treasure hoarders to actually track the shots this time, because I didn't before. I was just looking at the healing. We have Phlogiston, so I got to watch the Phlogiston bar. All right. 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, okay. So 12 plus with C6, that should be an extra, being that's a 50-50, so there should be an extra 6 shots of 120% multipliers. He's actually probably going to be pretty close to how Lanyan performs. The gameplay is going to be completely different, but, you know. As far as Abyss goes, the second half of the Dragon Toilet basically says, don't you dare bring Hydro. And that means because we want Farina for buffing Anemo damage, we're not going to do that side. You might say, WTF is this team on the second side? You'll understand. You are good. Probably don't need it, but, you know, we'll take it. No, our journey just begins. Slap. Alright, bam. That, well, yeah, okay. Start with this, I suppose. Bam. The damage is... Did I not Farina burst? No, I did Farina burst. She just already has her burst back, duh. Of course. Well, yep. It seems to be a perfectly competent amount of damage. I do wish Farazon... Yeah, this... I'm used to, like, getting 100k damage from Farazon. So, you know. Do we group these at all? Also, what happens if we actually do this? We do stay in the air. Good. Okay, that's good. Oop, we got knocked out of the air. Okay, interesting. You know, his healing does help here, by the way, because it means we don't have to like worry about swapping to Bennett as much as we otherwise may have to with this with like a Frina Bennett situation. Okay, I should be doing better at dodging. I must admit, I thought with Frina buff up and Varazon buff up, we were gonna get more damage than this. Alright, bam. Okay, yeah, burst is helping a bit. This is less good than I thought it was going to be. Like, I don't know. Sorry, my brain really wants me to compare to Lanyan. I haven't posted this video yet, but I recently recorded a video revisiting DPS Lanyan because of how much higher investment I am with Lanyan now. Okay, I'm gonna try rotating in a little bit different way. These things are animals resistant, by the way. And I'm mentioning Lanyan because in my Lanyan team, which has a little bit different of an investment direction with Varazon damage and whatever, of course, right? I can clear these enemies, even though they're animal resistant, in about a minute. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. I expected slightly better. Since Varazon doesn't deal damage anyways, we don't really need to use her burst beforehand. I think the best option for his burst, by the way, is definitely to use it as his skill is empty. Oh, oh no, we Bennett buff lingered. Okay, we're fine. I should probably target the one dude that spawns, right? But oh well. Can you control his targeting very well? Not really. Yeah, it's actually not that hard to control. Damn. He has very satisfying effects, at least. Which is nice. By the way, Varazon can kind of just, like, permanently CC these enemies. We do have enough ER to burst consistently, which is very nice. We do have the 20% ER card. Ooh, we're going to get some big fall damage. Yep. Okay, we're doing much better now. That was just a scuff first run, which is fine. One left. We had done a little bit better grouping wise. Okay, we didn't get into Bennett's skill there, but it's fine. Bennett has 300 ER. We had done a little bit better grouping wise. It could have been better, but the fall damage helped us out meaningfully there. And this team is kind of whack on purpose. Figured, win in Rome. Why not? Why not play a C6 Shalonen? Okay, this was closer than I thought it was going to be honest. But it was also purposely a kind of jank team. And we're good. Although, this chamber should be a little bit better for seeing Ifa damage. Let's see what the true potential is. See, Varazon having damage here could allow us to basically kill these enemies without having to, like, start damage on Ifa. There we go. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's so much better. That's what I was hoping. Yeah. Bam. Perfect. Can we kill without? Yeah, we can. Nice. And then we can use ult on this, and we didn't give him crit. Okay, well. Oh, well. Oh, that's fine. Do this. 20k crit on. Varazon's build is so sad. It's fine. It's fine, because look at the damage numbers from Mr. Ifa, our bro. Bam. This wall's coming down. Alright. Okay, I am very glad Sylveon has an excessive energy recharge. It's the number one thing I need when playing on someone else's account to not be miserable. Just missed by shooting over there. Bam. Bam. Okay. Don't. Heal up Karina. Oh, that was a little bit weird in the camera. Okay. Oh, he gets interrupted. Okay, well, that's information that's good to know. Okay, we just got no damage out there because... Well, that's definitely a problem. A problem that is worth being aware of. Now, I really wish Farazan had had a damage build. It would make the experience feel much more consistent here. That would have been less problematic there, but anyways. And bam. Oh, I was definitely hoping the ult was going to kill. There we go. I mean, was that good? Try this again. I feel like we can have a much better showing from Mr. Ifa. I do strongly feel that, you know, a better Farazan build would improve our experience significantly. But it shouldn't be necessary here. Shouldn't be necessary. Please. Alright. There we go. Hey, we crit this time. Wow. Wham. Yeah, that's fine. Flap. This gameplay is kind of boring. Like, it's mostly just avoid damage, which is, like, to be clear, I have felt this about any of the aerial DPSs in the game. Chaska and Wander. Oh, that was whatever. So, it's not unique to him at all. It's just a side effect of these, the kit gimmick, right? Anyways, we can get a very satisfying amount of damage numbers from his skill, at the very least, with enough investment, of course. Can we get a better one this time? Yeah, we did. Nice. Okay. So we burst on this. Teleport backwards. Thank you. Alright, bam. Flap. Okay. Please die. Wow. We are getting terrible luck with our C6, I think. Okay. This wasn't that much better, to be honest. It really wasn't. It's certainly not unusable, but it's not incredible. Well, I can tell you this C6 loader team was not the correct choice for the Papilla. That's fine. We're testing DPS Ifa today, not C6 loader. But maybe. Ow. Oh, good thing we have abs. Alright, bam. We really want to make sure we get Farazan burst back, so we are going to purposely clear this a little bit slower. Because we want to be able to Farazan burst, Farina burst for the Wayab. Silly things we have to do with Wayab optimization, basically. Okay. I think what we can do here... We can do this. Okay. Well, I might have to redo this, I'm not sure. Okay. Come on, get your shield. Ah, oh, I did get it. Okay, nice. Again, this is where having a better build on Farazan. Oh no, we got enough. Good, good. Okay, I did good with having that burst. We are good. Okay. Okay, we should be good. Oh, god dang it. Oh, oh lordy. Well, as expected, as with every flying DPS in the game, it's really annoying to get knocked out of the air. Bam. If I hadn't gotten knocked out of the air, it would have been a minute and a half, you know. I think this basically just puts Ifa in the neighborhood of where most 4-star DPSs are, for something that's not intended as a core function of their kit in particular, where he's just like, where he's not bad. He can have a decent amount of multiplier output, but it's certainly not incredible. I do feel like he could compete much closer with my experience playing DPS Lanyan if Farazan was just a bit more invested for her personal damage. But let's try the other way of DPSing Ifa before we make any like true... I mean, I'm not going to make any true judgments merely past like other than... He's pretty much what I expected so far. I was briefly extremely hopeful he was going to be really compelling, and then he's just normal compelling for DPSing, right? So it's something you can do, and maybe is the route you want to go. even with his like lower constellation kit. Depending on your investment into your Farina and your Farazon, right, he can be, I think, a competent enough DPS to clear Abyss. Enemy context changes all, yada yada. Let's try, we have to change his build. We will use a 4-piece Viridescent Venerer, yoinking artifact. Look at that flower. Wow. Another 100 I only have, what? Okay. Now, our choices for weapons. So to make Ifa's kit have like unique relevance over, say, other enemy on-field, Swirl DPSs in the game, I think you take advantage of his healing. But his healing is low enough that I think Prototype Amber is kind of his best choice, particularly a low constellation Ifa. Since this account does have Yumi Mizuki's weapon, though, I think we should probably try Mizuki's weapon for the fun of it, right? Let's try a truly maxed out Swirl DPS Ifa. Oron is level 90 with the... and 4-piece scroll. And that's a decent build. I'm going to give him Elegy, because that seems more fun. Farina will stay on her same build, of course. So we have the Electro Charge core there, and then we have an off-field slot. We can either throw in an Electro unit. We could mess around with doing a Dendra unit, and Ifa could ideally swirl around Electro and trigger, Hyper Blooms. Wait, is there a Scoffy on this account? Level 70. I mean, level 70 of Scoffy is probably good enough. Skyward Spine, okay. Golden Troop. It's a functional build. And yes, I kind of wanted to just do this because it's Superconduct, and I think that's funny. Hello, friend. Alright. Obviously in this kind of team... Oh yeah, we're not going to burst every rotation with her. That's fine. Obviously in this kind of team, your investment into your off-fielders matters meaningfully. Of course, we got hit by that. And bap. And right now, it seems not crazily different from crit DPS Ifa, which I'd say is just arguably good design. We aren't doing as much swirling as I was hoping, but okay. We really want these enemies to be near each other. Otherwise, I think we're going to struggle here. They kind of self-group themselves somewhat, but they don't want to do that right now for some reason. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. Hey, at least his healing is keeping up. So yeah, C6 Ifa's healing, much more decent now. Yeah. Obviously, we also have Escoffier's healing, but I didn't use Escoffier's heal the previous rotation. For what it's worth, I like this gameplay for Swirl DPSing more than Mizuki. It's more active. I think Mizuki is easier to play, but oh my gosh, case in point. But like Mizuki teams versus Ifa on-field teams look quite different because they have different restrictions to their kit to utilize them properly. I didn't see a single crit from Duluth there. Obviously, I am not playing Duluth proper or anything here, and it's a 4-piece Crimson build, so, I would have played, like, Melt Plunge Duluth if I had the choice, but you don't against this boss, so we didn't. Or in other words, Ifa is clearly way stronger than Duluth. That's the conclusion of this video. No. Sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize for the Duluth slander. I know there's still a lot of people that like him. But, anyways. Swirl DPSing, by the way, particularly in AoE, when you're actually swirling elements around and causing visually pleasing reactions like Superconduct, is enjoyable. Like, I must admit, I kind of like intended Mihoyo DPS Ifa as intended, not crit DPS Ifa, a little bit more. But ultimately, they don't feel crazily different, right? And if you like seeing big crit numbers on field, the other one's the one for you. But the other one is a higher investment form of thing to do, I'd say. Well, this requires high investment too, because you need to have investment in your off-fielders for this to be a compelling option, right? And that matters, of course. So, I don't know. Anyways, the point is, the general gameplay is, like, very similar. Okay, good. We got the same one again. Oh, I froze it. That's bad. Oh, crap. Oh, good. It's still teleported. Okay. Yeah, this is taking a bit longer, though. For sure. Goose on the loose. I have no meaningful commentary to add because, like, it's not like it's that complicated. Not killing that before it did that is a little annoying, by the way, but whatever. Oh my gosh. You think I would learn? Oh my god. It's just... I am well aware there's a skill issue that have been happening in this video. But, you know. It doesn't... It's an honest showing of the experience. I can tell you, you're probably going to have to expect some interruption problems too. Well, we need to end our stay early. Oh boy. Yep, we need to at least get that off, I think. Do this. I know Escoffier is here, but I figured it was still getting a shield up. Okay. Are we going to be able to get through this, actually? Because crit DPSing is definitely better for getting through way up shields. Ah, crap. Ah, crap. Okay, well, there's a downside of Swirl DPS Ifa. Way-obs. I mean, a lot of teams have downside against the way-obs, so it's not unique to him. It's unique to 90% of the teams in the game. Because way-obs. Alright, well, this was not a good ending. This was not a good ending. But also, I think it is possible we could clear the shield. With like a little bit of optimization. Can I avoid getting hit there? Good, okay. Bam, kill please? Oh, no, well, alright, well, that's an underwhelming ending. It's still like close-ish to an 830. Like, it's not crazily worse. I was in a Diluc mood, but not a hyper-optimizing Diluc gameplay or Diluc build mood. I was just trying to Diluc for the fun of it. Anyways, but Ifa. I like that he has exploration utility, and he has a path to... Okay, the bird is annoying. But he has a path towards, you know, DPSing in various forms, which gives him a little bit more versatility. Like, I think this Ifa can be min-maxed a little bit more. Like, what I do for Lanyon is I put Tenacity on Farina, and then I have Farazan on a very good build on Scroll for her to get good damage on 4-piece Scroll, which will actually also refund energy for Farazan in an Ifa team, unlike a Lanyon team, because you can trigger the 2-piece effect with the Nalan character in the team. It's just a way of changing the team format, at least to make it feel like the Anemo DPS on field is doing more damage, and I found that enjoyable. But anyways, I'll have a video coming out very soon. I think actually probably the next video after this one, which is not intentional. My point is not to say, yeah, don't touch Ifa, play Lanyon instead. I mean, that's what my choice is. I'm not going to level Ifa, but he lands solidly in the category of, you know, if you want to DPS him, there is a path towards making him do competent damage. Temper expectations a little bit, but he can be very competent for my standards, at least. And what your standards are will depend on your options on your account. If you purposely play bad teams like I was in the second half, you're probably not going to 3-star Abyss, right? But I was mostly just testing DPS thresholds in the first side, and both forms of DPS, you know, damage-dealing Ifa teams that I checked, those reached damage thresholds that were, you know, even if there was like unoptimal things happening, playstyle-wise, whatever, etc., it was enough damage threshold that with an actual competent team for clearing the second side, I would have cleared without a problem. That's all I'm really trying to say there. Point being, I think this bro is a cool addition to the game. He is solidly in the category of, you know, build him if you like him, and not because he's going to be someone who has a very strong, compelling use case.